Psychological transformation of the unsupported individual. When support disappears emotionally, socially, or institutionally, the human psyche does not simply weaken. It reorganizes. What emerges is not the same person who once relied on reassurance, validation, or protection. It is a transformed mind shaped by pressure, silence, and self-reliance. This transformation follows a dark but predictable psychological arc. 1. The collapse of external validation. The first loss is belief in rescue. When no one defends you, listens to you, or stands beside you, the brain stops outsourcing safety. Approval, encouragement, and fairness are no longer expected. Psychological shifts. Reduced need for praise, detachment from public opinion, emotional independence replaces emotional openness. This stage feels lonely, but it is where self-containment begins. 2. Heightened perceptual awareness. Unsupported individuals become observers before participants. With no safety net, the mind sharpens its threat detection systems. Facial expressions are analyzed more deeply. Tone, hesitation, and inconsistencies become visible. Intent is inferred from patterns, not promises. This is not paranoia, it is adaptive vigilance. The unsupported mind learns, no one will warn me. I must see first. 3. Emotional compression without support. Emotions lose their outlet. Instead of expression, anger becomes restraint, sadness becomes silence. Fear becomes preparation. This compression creates a colder emotional profile, not numbness, but controlled intensity. Externally, the individual appears calm. Internally, they are calculating. Internal authority replaces external authority. Rules once came from parents, groups, morality, or institutions. Now, judgment comes from within. This is a critical transformation. Decisions are no longer explained, only executed. Guilt is replaced by consequence-based thinking. Morality becomes strategic, not performative. The unsupported individual stops asking, is this acceptable? They ask, is this effective? Detachment from the need to be understood. One of the most dangerous shifts. When no one listens long enough to understand you, the desire to explain dies. Results: silence replaces justification, actions replace arguments. Privacy becomes power. This is where the individual becomes unreadable and therefore uncontrollable. 6. Pain as a structuring force. Support softens pain. Its absence organizes it. Pain becomes a memory database, a behavioral filter, a motivator for precision. Instead of breaking the individual, repeated unsupported stress rewires resilience. They no longer ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, how do I ensure it never happens again? Strategic self-reliance at the final stage. The individual does not seek allies impulsively. They test loyalty before trust, observe before aligning, use distance as leverage. Relationships become selective. Dependence becomes unacceptable. This person may appear distant, but internally they are anchored. Resulting archetype: the unsupported individual does not become loud. They become solid, not reactive, not expressive, not needy, but hard to manipulate, difficult to threaten, impossible to control through approval or fear. This is not virtue. This is psychological survival refined into power. Society fears the unsupported individual because they are uncontrollable. They are immune to expectation, unmoved by approval, and unshaken by judgment. Where others are predictable, they are not. Where others seek permission, they do not. Where others bend, they remain rigid. This is a danger most people cannot comprehend. 1. Fear of unreadability. The unsupported individual is unreadable. Emotions are scarce, reactions are measured, intentions are hidden. People fear what they cannot predict. Power dislikes what it cannot manipulate. When others try to control, influence, or deceive them, they fail silently. And the failure of control is terrifying to those accustomed to obedience. 2. Fear of independence. They do not need approval. They do not seek allies. They do not require protection. No loyalty can be bought cheaply. No influence can be imposed. No hierarchy can command. Society fears independence because it exposes the illusion of control. 3. Fear of truthful observation. Unsupported individuals see clearly. They notice hypocrisy, weakness, hidden agendas, and they do not look away. Most people rely on selective blindness to survive socially. The unsupported individual removes that safety. To society, this is dangerous. 4. Fear of action without emotion. They do not argue. They do not react impulsively. They do not betray themselves. But when they act, it is decisive, cold, and unstoppable. Others fear this precision, because intent without ego is unstoppable. 5. Fear of self-sufficiency. The unsupported individual carries no debt, social, emotional, or moral. They can leave a system at any moment. They can abandon a relationship without regret. They can walk away from opportunity or threat equally. Freedom is frightening to those who rely on others, and the unsupported wield freedom as invisible power. 6. Fear of exposure. They do not manipulate, but they reveal. By existing, they highlight weakness in others. Cowardice, dependence, corruption, fear itself. Society fears exposure. The unsupported individual embodies it. They cannot be persuaded, cannot be silenced, and cannot be trusted to conform. They are inconvenient, uncomfortable, and ultimately powerful in ways most will never understand. Where others bend to survive, the unsupported survive by standing alone, and in standing alone, they become untouchable. How to cultivate the mind of the unsupported individual. Introduction to walk alone is not merely a condition, it is an art. To survive without support is not simply resilience, it is a form of mastery. The unsupported individual operates in a world that is silent, hostile, and unrelenting, yet they transform this harshness into clarity, strategy, and power. Cultivating this mind is not easy. It demands deliberate detachment, disciplined observation, and unflinching honesty. This guide is not about virtue or morality. It is about practical psychology, learning how to exist independently, perceive with precision, and act with authority. 1. Embrace solitude as a weapon. The first step to cultivating an unsupported mind is redefining solitude. Society teaches that loneliness is a weakness. The unsupported individual knows otherwise. Solitude is a laboratory. 1. Reframe loneliness. Do not seek distraction from your own company. Observe your thoughts, your habits, your fears. Ask yourself without compromise, what am I willing to endure alone? Solitude sharpens decision-making. Without anyone to lean on, every choice becomes a test of your self-reliance. 1. Use silence to train the mind. Speak less than you think necessary. Observe more than you comment. Let your mind practice patience and restraint. Silence is the first weapon of the unsupported. It creates distance. It conceals intent. It teaches you to exist without validation. 1. Build emotional resilience. Solitude forces confrontation with uncomfortable emotions. Fear, anger, loneliness, shame. Do not run from them. Examine them, analyze their source, transform them from reactive triggers into predictable internal signals. The unsupported individual does not suppress emotions, they redirect them into strategy. 2. Learn absolute observation. When support disappears, your eyes and ears become your greatest allies. 2. Watch without judgment. Notice micro-expressions, pauses, and inflections. Learn to interpret intention without hearing it. Observe behavior over words. 2. Catalog patterns. People reveal their character through repetition, not promises. Maintain mental notes. Ask, who acts when it costs them nothing? Who falters when pressured? This is how the unsupported individual predicts outcomes without reliance. 2. Anticipate threats quietly. Do not react to minor provocations. Plan in silence. Let others display vulnerability first. Observation becomes anticipation, and anticipation becomes control even without allies. 3. Develop strategic self-reliance. Being unsupported is not the same as being helpless. It is the foundation for self-generated power. 3. Internal authority. Your judgments become your own law. Morality is no longer performative, it is practical. Every choice is filtered through, will this preserve my autonomy or diminish it? 3. Skills as armor. Competence is the only currency that protects the unsupported. Master your craft, whatever it may be. Let skill speak louder than persuasion or favor. 3. Minimize dependence. Reduce reliance on others for emotional, financial, or professional support. Keep redundancies and escape routes in place. Treat dependence like a liability. Independence is not a state, it is a practice. Master emotional compression. Unsupported individuals learn to compress their emotional energy, transforming vulnerability into power. 4. Control. Your reactions. Never respond immediately to insult, threat, or pressure. 4. Convert pain into strategy. Every setback, betrayal, or insult becomes data. Ask, what lesson can I extract? How does this strengthen my position? 4-3 Reserve emotion as leverage. Display only what benefits your goals. Never overshare fear, desire, or weakness. Let others guess your intentions. Emotional compression is not suppression, it is intentional scarcity. 5. Build controlled social presence. The unsupported individual does not vanish from society, they navigate it deliberately. 5.1 Selective engagement. Speak only when necessary. Observe more than you participate. Let others reveal themselves. 5.2 Reputation as shield. Do not seek popularity. Maintain a neutral yet competent image. Let others underestimate you until precision strikes. 5.3 Strategic distance. Avoid over-attachment in friendships and alliances. Distance breeds respect, curiosity, and subtle influence. Remember, the unsupported individual is present but unreadable, a living paradox. 6. Harness the power of decision. Without consensus, unsupported individuals cannot wait for approval or support. 6.1 Act alone. Develop confidence in solitary decisions. Accept the cost of being misunderstood. 6.2 Avoid arguments. Arguments reveal intent and emotion. Disengage quietly. Let time and circumstance demonstrate your correctness. 6.3 Plan with patience. Make moves slowly, deliberately. Avoid impulsive displays of skill or strength. When action occurs, it carries maximum impact. The unsupported act with precision, not passion. 7. Cultivate psychological hardness. The mind of the unsupported is forged in pressure. 7. Embrace discomfort. Seek situations that test endurance. Learn to withstand isolation, criticism, and betrayal. 7. Normalize hard truths. Accept that life is indifferent. Accept that people act from self-interest. Accept that control is an illusion. Accept what you create internally. 7.3 Make scarcity your ally. Limit exposure to emotional, social, and financial dependency. Let scarcity sharpen judgment, increase leverage, and refine priorities. Psychological hardness is the backbone of untouchable power. 8. Master the art of observation. Without attachment, unsupported individuals see the world clearly, but remain untouched by it. 8.1 Observe without reaction. Do not internalize slights or praise. Let the world reveal itself to you. 8. Identify leverage points. Every system has weakness. Every person has blind spots. Identify and catalog these quietly. 8. Act when advantage is absolute. Timing is everything. Patience converts observation into influence. Detached observation becomes anticipation, and anticipation becomes control. 9. Protect autonomy through calculated relationships. Unsupported individuals do not shun connections, they use them strategically. 9.1 Select allies. Carefully choose loyalty, competence, and discretion. Test intentions before trust is granted. 9.2 Keep leverage hidden. Avoid revealing all knowledge or capability. Let others perceive limitation, never reveal full potential. 9.3 Avoid emotional debt. Never borrow favor without clear return. Relationships are tools, not crutches. Autonomy is the currency of freedom, and freedom is the greatest power. 10. Transform vulnerability into intelligence. Unsupported individuals do not seek protection, they extract wisdom from exposure. 10.1 Learn from isolation. Study patterns in absence of guidance. Build intuition for human behavior. 10.2 Convert adversity into foresight. Every betrayal is data. Every hardship is a template for survival. 10.2 Use scarcity as strength. Let lack of support fuel creativity, resilience, and strategy. The unsupported individual does not just survive, they predict, manipulate, and influence quietly. Practice the discipline of exit. True power lies in freedom of withdrawal. 11.1 Keep options open. Maintain multiple paths, solutions, and resources. Never become trapped by attachment, location, or expectation. 11.2 Walk away when necessary. Detachment is a signal of strength. Let others feel the absence, the power of choice. 11.3 Make absence impactful. Your departure should carry consequence without aggression. Let silence speak louder than confrontation. The ability to exit without fear or attachment is the hallmark of the unsupported mind. Adopt a long-term strategic perspective. Unsupported individuals play time like a weapon. They delay gratification. They invest in skill, insight, and reputation. They let short-term chaos pass. Knowing control is long-term, they think in decades, not days. They measure impact, not applause. They understand power is silent. Patience reveals it. 13. Cultivate mental invulnerability. The final step. Become untouchable in mind. 13.1 Neutralize fear. Fear exists for those dependent on others. Learn to internalize courage, independent of circumstance. 13.2 Dissociate from opinion. Let judgment and criticism pass without internalization. Trust your own analysis, not social validation. 13.3 Own your existence. Your life choices and time belong to you alone. This is the ultimate power, unconditional sovereignty over the self. Conclusion: becoming the unsupported individual. To cultivate the unsupported mind is to master yourself where others fail. You do not rely on validation, protection, or permission. You observe, calculate, and act. You endure, adapt, and transform hardship into leverage. Society fears you not because you are loud, but because you cannot be controlled. You are quiet, precise, and relentless in strategy. You are untouchable, unmanipulable, and free. This is not loneliness. This is psychological power refined into art. To walk unsupported is to walk alone, but in that solitude lies the clearest path to mastery.